This is not a story of a bad day, or a difficult month. This is the geology of the soul, where layers of sediment, disappointment, understanding, repetition, have compressed over years into a stone that no longer wishes to be part of the mountain. The alarm does not shatter Leo's peace, it marks the end of a temporary reprieve. For Leo, a 51-year-old data analyst, sleep is not restful. It is merely a state of non-being, a brief, blissful cessation of the constant, low-grade hum of consciousness. Waking is a return to a sentence. He does not open his eyes. He first becomes aware of the pressure of the mattress against his back, the weight of the comforter. It feels less like comfort and more like a gentle, constant gravity, pinning him to a timeline he no longer wishes to follow. This is fundamental fatigue, the exhaustion not from a lack of sleep, but from the impending requirement of performing a self for the next 16 hours. The very concept of Leo, the name, the history, the preferences, the responsibilities, feels like a heavy, ill-fitting suit he must button himself into every single morning. He moves through his routine with a procedural accuracy that is entirely divorced from intention. The shower is not for cleansing, it is a ritual of temperature and sensation, a way to mark the first 15 minutes of the day. The toothbrush moves in circles. The coffee brews. Each action is a note in a song he has played 10,000 times. He is not the musician. He is the instrument, played by the ghost of his own habits. This is the core of the psychology, the decoupling of action from desire. For most, desire is the engine. The desire for a good coffee, for a satisfying work project, for connection, for pleasure. For Leo, the engine has seized. He is not moving toward anything. He is moving because the momentum of yesterday, and the day before, has not yet fully bled away. He is a ghost in the machine of his own life. Leo's work is perfect for his condition. It is abstract, logical, and requires minimal human interaction. He translates the chaos of human behavior into clean, predictable patterns on a spreadsheet. He finds a grim poetry in this. He is documenting the wants and needs of millions, the pulsating data of a species driven by desire, while he himself feels nothing. A meeting is called. He sits in the conference room, his body present, his posture acceptable. He can feel the social energy in the room, the ambition of Sarah, the anxiety of Mark, the quiet resentment of Chloe. He can see the micro-expressions, the subtle power plays. He understands it all with a clinical, dispassionate clarity. This is hyper-awareness, and it is a curse. He is not participating in the human drama. He is an ethnographer studying a tribe whose rituals he finds both fascinating and utterly meaningless. He is asked for his input. He provides it. His voice sounds alien to him, a calibrated instrument of reason. The words are correct, helpful even, but they emerge from a profound void. He feels like a sophisticated AI, generating perfect responses based on a lifetime of data, but without a shred of internal experience to anchor them. This is the erosion of the self. The Leo, who speaks in meetings, is a convincing simulation. The real Leo is a silent, observing entity trapped behind the eyes. The concept is foreign. The act of deciding feels as monumental and pointless as choosing which rock to carry on a lifelong trek. That he watches a young couple debating pasta sauces, their faces animated. He sees a mother patiently explaining the difference between cereals to her child. These are scenes of life, of connection, of investment in the future. For Leo, they are like watching actors on a stage from the very back row. He can see the play, but he cannot hear the lines. And he has long forgotten the plot. He feels a profound, unbridgeable distance, not born of superiority, but of a fundamental disconnection from the operating system of humanity. He leaves the store with a few items, a random collection chosen to minimally sustain the organism. The entire endeavor has cost him a tremendous amount of energy. It is cognitive and emotional fatigue. The mere processing of stimuli, the lights, the colors, the people, the choices, is depleting. There is no emotional reward, no satisfaction of a task completed. There is only the quiet relief of returning to the silence of his car, to the neutral, non-demanding space between destinations. Evening arrives. This is the time people use to recharge, to engage with hobbies, to connect with loved ones. For Leo, it is the most dangerous time. The structure of the workday, however hollow, has fallen away. Now, there is only unstructured time, a yawning chasm he must fill with something. He turns on the television. A drama unfolds. He understands the narrative beats, the conflict, the tension, the resolution. But he cannot care. The character's struggles feel like equations he has already solved. A comedy show has a laugh track. The audience's laughter feels like a recording from another planet, a language of emotion he no longer speaks. He picks up a book on philosophy, one he once loved. He reads the words of Kierkegaard, of Camus. Speaking of absurdity and the struggle to find meaning, they feel like clinical descriptions of his condition. They diagnose the disease but offer no cure, or rather, the cures they offer, passion, rebellion, faith, feel like theoretical concepts, like telling a stone to dance. This is spiritual fatigue, the most profound layer. It is the exhaustion of hope itself. It is not the belief that things will get worse. It is the bone-deep certainty that nothing will ever fundamentally change. The scenery might shift, but the play is the same. The capacity to be surprised, to be enchanted, to be moved, has not just dimmed, it has been surgically removed. He is not sad. Sadness is an emotion, a color in the spectrum of feeling. He exists in a state of achromatism. He is not angry. Anger requires energy, a fire he cannot kindle. The dominant state is a heavy, pervasive apathy, which is not the absence of feeling but the feeling of absence itself. It is a constant, low-grade grief for a self that has been lost, though he cannot remember when or how. He goes to bed not with a wish for a better tomorrow, but with a quiet, desperate hope that the metronome of his heart might simply, and without drama, stop its ticking. He does not desire death, with its violence and finality. He desires the peace of the inanimate. The deep, silent rest of a stone at the bottom of a river, around which the water of life, with all its frantic, beautiful, terrible energy, simply continues to flow, without him ever having to participate again. This is the psychology of being tired of existing. It is a long, slow, internal sunset, where the light of the self fades not in a blaze of glory, but in an endless, gray twilight. This is not a crisis that can be solved by a vacation, a new hobby, or a change of scenery. Those are treatments for a soul that is still capable of thirst. For Leo, the well itself has run dry. The psychology of this state is the quiet understanding that you are not on the wrong path. You have arrived at the final destination of every path. It is the realization that the self is not a thing to be fixed, but a story that has reached its inevitable, unsatisfying end. He is not broken. He is completed. The final, logical conclusion of a life spent observing patterns is the recognition of one's own, a perfect, closed loop of stimulus and response, devoid of any magic, any error, any surprise. The ultimate fatigue is the understanding that there is nothing left to understand. He passes an old man, hunched and slow, examining a single peach with an intensity that seems to warp the very air around him. The man's gnarled finger gently presses the flesh, testing its give. He brings it to his nose and inhales, his eyes closing. For a fleeting second, a ghost of a smile touches his lips. In that moment, Leo is pierced by a feeling so sharp it is almost physical. It is not envy. It is a devastating, panoramic grief for a version of himself that could still be moved by the scent of a peach. He is not looking at a man, he is looking at a relic of a lost civilization. A civilization to which he once belonged. The chasm between his own hollowed-out perception and the old man's simple, sensual appreciation feels infinite. He turns away, the encounter more draining than any meeting, any errand. It was a glimpse into the living world from the other side of a glass wall he can no longer find the door to escape.